Princess Charlotte sat silently in the classroom, the hum of concentration filling the air as pencils scratched across paper. The final moments of a history test were ticking away, and she focused on the question in front of her. In which year did World War I begin? It was the last step before the nationwide junior essay competition, a contest she had participated in every year since learning to read and write. Around her, other students worked diligently. Some sped through the questions, others chewed their pens, lost in thought. For most, this was just another test, another part of the school routine, but for Charlotte it carried more significance. Being a royal meant that every achievement, every mistake, was magnified. Mediocrity was not an option. As Charlotte read the question again, her grip on the pencil tightened. She scanned the multiple choice answers, but something was wrong. Every option was incorrect. She knew the correct year. It was 1914, but none of the answers reflected this. Her heart raced. What should she do? Speak up and risk drawing attention to herself, or stay silent and let the error go unnoticed? Charlotte hesitated, glancing around the room. James Fitzgerald, a few rows away, was writing quickly, his focus unwavering. Speaking up might disrupt the entire class, but Charlotte understood the weight of truth and accuracy, especially for someone in her position. Slowly she raised her hand. "Yes, Charlotte, Mr. Thompson," the teacher asked, his tone curious yet slightly amused by the interruption. Charlotte took a deep breath. "I believe there's an error on the test, sir. The year for World War I is incorrect." The room fell silent. All eyes turned to her. Some students exchanged glances. Others froze mid-answer. James muttered something under his breath, clearly annoyed. Mr. Thompson's expression shifted from amusement to a slight frown. "Are you sure, Charlotte?" he asked dismissively. "Perhaps you're mistaken. We'll review it later." But Charlotte stood her ground. "No, sir, I'm certain. The correct year is 1914. Her steady voice cut through the tension. Mr. Thompson hesitated, then nodded curtly. "We'll address it after class. For now, continue with your test." Charlotte returned to her seat, the weight of her decision settling in. Whispers began to ripple through the room, and she felt exposed. Was she right to speak up? Would her boldness be seen as arrogance? When the test ended, Charlotte packed her things quickly, avoiding the stares of her classmates. Outside, the sun shone brightly, but she felt none of its warmth. She found a quiet bench in the courtyard, her mind replaying the events. Had she made the right choice? Ellie Parker, Charlotte's closest friend, soon joined her. "Are you okay?" Ellie asked, her tone gentle but concerned. Charlotte sighed. "I don't know. What if everyone thinks I was showing off?" Ellie smiled warmly. "You did the right thing. It's not about what they think. It's about standing up for what's true. That takes courage." Ellie's words comforted Charlotte. Perhaps it wasn't about seeking approval, but doing what was right, even when it was difficult. Later that day, during the next history class, the headmaster entered. His stern face softened as he addressed the students. "Princess Charlotte pointed out an error in today's test. She was correct, and I commend her for her attention to detail and her courage to speak up." The room erupted in applause. Charlotte's cheeks flushed, but she stood tall. It wasn't about the recognition, it was about integrity and standing up for the truth. That evening, back at Kensington Palace, Charlotte shared the story with her parents. "Well done," her mother, Kate, said warmly. Her father, Prince William, added with pride, "You showed true leadership today." For the first time, Charlotte felt the weight of her role as a princess in a new way. It wasn't about wearing a crown. It was about standing for what was right, no matter the challenges. In the days that followed, she poured her thoughts into her essay for the competition, choosing to write about the importance of accuracy and the courage to challenge authority when needed. Her experiences had taught her a valuable lesson. Leadership wasn't about perfection. It was about integrity, courage, and staying true to oneself,